Hello and welcome to Think Alberta, the channel dedicated to the future of Alberta and helping you make decisions not based on emotion, but on thought with intent, so you can choose a future for the province and for yourselves. Over the next little while, we'll be taking many walks and even in the future talking with people to see how they're processing all this information. Join me, will you? Fear. It's a great motivator, but it's not a decision maker. Many people, if you're online, you begin to discuss things about the future of Alberta. You just want to be open-minded. You just want to maybe process some information. And someone comes online and they'll post something like, Alberta will never leave Canada. No way. I won't let it. And you're going to find it very difficult to engage in a dialogue with these people simply because the first response they have is fear. Almost paralyzed to make a discussion. They want to shut it down. Avoidance, I suppose you could say. They avoid making a decision. Maybe they don't feel confident that they could make a good decision. This is part of the reason why dialoguing online needs to be supportive, understanding, and have answers to those who really need it. So I want to help you move beyond fear and make that decision, whatever it is, for the future of Alberta. I will say this, much of decision making doesn't have to be paralyzed by fear once you begin to learn about what the other side is really saying. For example, some people believe that Alberta Independence means they're going to become a U.S. state. That's not what Alberta Independence means. It simply means a country on its own. Another concern is identity. Who will I be if Alberta becomes its own country? Will I be Canadian anymore? And what does that mean? A lot of people don't really think about these things. They often, it seems, watch television and are led along a certain way of thinking based on emotion. But that emotion, again, is a great motivator. It doesn't help you make good decisions. Unless, of course, your house is on fire. Then your decision is to get out quickly. One of the questions you could ask yourself is, are you afraid if Alberta was to become its own country? What would that look like? Is that a concern to you? Other questions. Another question that comes up is, if Alberta becomes its own country, what would that mean to you personally? Would that really change your identity? Are there family concerns? All of those things people have to think through. And when you're dialoguing with people, understand that they're processing this information, and sometimes they're not used to making decisions that are this big. They get quite fearful. They get paralyzed. If your default answer to the question, should Alberta become its own country, is no, absolutely not, that's a good flag to let you know you're making an impulsive decision. And here's the reason you should care. I'm going to draw an analogy between how many Albertans feel about Ontario and Quebec and Alberta. And that analogy is going to be drawn with a abusive husband, drug addicted, and a wife who is the victim. The drug-addicted husband can sometimes do some very harmful things to the abused wife. Unfortunately, sometimes police officers have to deal with these things on a regular basis. And what they notice is how amazing it is that the woman never leaves. But if you begin to look at why she never leaves, she's too scared to. She would rather put up with the abuse than start life anew. And we often hear it online when it comes to Ontario and Quebec, or people who we call maybe pro-Canadian within Alberta. They'll go, there's no way you could make it on your own. You need me. Or you're going to be an island. You are landlocked and you have no ability to save yourself. So, Alberta, like the victim here, gets too afraid to do anything, too afraid to move. This is not healthy, and it doesn't promote what every human needs, and I would argue what every human being needs in a country. People need to have self-actualization. They simply need to become the greatest whom they can be. And if the fear limits them to do that, it's not only a poor decision, unfortunately they'll die never reaching the full potential. And that's why we need to discuss the future of Alberta in a thinking manner and less so an emotional manner. If you find that this video is helpful to you, well, I guess please like and subscribe. I hope in our future dialogues we help other people understand that what they're going through is normal whenever we have to make big decisions. But often big decisions aren't so fearful once we learn the truth about the matter and not develop arguments for coping mechanisms' sake. I wish you a good day. I hope to see you on the next video. Bye for now.